celebration to last throughout the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We're gonna celebrate your party with you. Come on now, celebration. Let's all celebrate and have a good time. Celebration. We're gonna celebrate and have a good time. It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Everyone around the world, come on! Woo-hoo! Celebrate good times, come on! Celebrate good times, come on! We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's all right. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's all right. Celebrate good times, come on! Celebrate good times, come on! Welcome to this special edition of Rhythm and Word as we spend some time in joy this Eastertide. This is something that we usually do for the afternoon service. You're more than welcome to join us in person sometime, but I invite you to enjoy this worship experience. We'll have the lyrics up on the screen so you can sing along at home if you would like to. I'll share a reflection and then we'll do it all over again. So this is I Want Jesus to Walk With Me. Here we go. I want Jesus to walk with me. I want Jesus to walk with me all along my pilgrim journey. Lord, I want Jesus to walk with me. So I'm sure maybe some of you have heard the scripture where Jesus says, if you offer a drink of water to somebody who's thirsty, or some food to somebody who's starving, or you visit somebody in jail, that not only are you doing that for your fellow human being, but that you're also doing it for him. And sometimes it's hard for me to imagine it the other way around, that there are many Jesuses walking among us, trying to do the good work that he commanded, and somehow they miraculously find us and swoop in when we least expect it, when we need their help the most. This can be a friend, a family member, or a complete stranger. I admit, one very, very basic example I can give you is when I go to the grocery store and I think I'm just gonna run in for a few items. So I start grabbing things, and before I know it, my arms are overwhelmed and there's like a can of beans that's about to drop on the floor. And what are you gonna do, right? But then there's always a stranger that comes up to me and says, "Can I get you a basket?" And if I'm wise enough, I will take them up on that offer. But sometimes my canned response is, "No thanks, I like to struggle." And there's no wisdom in this. I really need to allow and make space for those that are sent to me, the ones that are fulfilling God's promise by being that helpful person. So if you're like me and it's hard to accept help, even as the items are falling out of your arms, you know, it's hard to imagine that maybe I'm the poor, the hungry, the jailed person that Jesus was referring to, and that my accepting their help helps them to fulfill the commandment that God gave them. It's a lot to chew on, especially for somebody who really wants to be independent. Can you think of a time in your life when this has happened? I'm sure you can. Keep it in mind as we sing the second verse. Here we go. In my trials, Lord, walk with me. In my trials, Lord, walk with me. When my heart is almost breaking, Lord, I want Jesus to walk with me. And then there are those times when we get so overwhelmed and frustrated that nobody is allowed in. I'll let you in on a secret. When I get super, super overwhelmed, I like to sit in a very small closet in my house. And that's because I can manage the energy of the space. I can take a minute to breathe. I can get my composure. And it's really hard to imagine another person in that space with me, let alone Jesus. But you know what? God is there. God is even in the times when sometimes my car is the cocoon. God is there when I'm screaming in my car, sometimes at Him. God is there. I feel like God is there after you're done screaming, crying, letting it out. And He's there for that now what moment. Because life does go on, and we need to choose our actions to maybe remedy what upset us or how we might have hurt somebody else. So if you can find God in those now what moments, I think that's the way to go. With that in mind, join me in singing our final verse. Here we go. When I'm in trouble, Lord, walk with me. When I'm in trouble, Lord, walk with me. When my head is bowed in sorrow, Lord, I want Jesus to walk with me. Thank you for spending this time with us today.